and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're doing an update on the cable car, San Francisco cable car from OcCre. And I got this far on the live stream on Monday. Have not yet done anything except for I did do a little bit of sanding on these pieces so that I could get, so that these would fit. So that part 12, or sorry, I'm trying to put part 15 in there. So that part 12 here would fit inside this gap. Does not fit. It could fit. It'd be a very tight fit. What I did was I took this file and on the ones that are already done, and I just did a quick sanding or filing, however you want to call it. Did this. Doesn't take a whole lot. And then just that much filing, and it's in there. Wanted to, before I put these together, I noticed something. So if you decide to build this, it's very important that you pay attention to this notch right here. You can see right here, this is angled. In the instructions, it says it towards the end of the step where you're putting this together, to pay attention to page or picture 8. Let me bring over the instructions. So right here, where you're putting these together, it says to assemble each of the benches with angles shown in step 8. Here's step 8, and you'll notice these are slightly angled. That makes them match the front of the car a little bit better. So you have to make 2 that are angled that the angle is on the left-hand side, and 2 that the angle's on the right-hand side. And that will make them fit. What is underneath here? Oh, paintbrush. That will make them fit into these slots. If you don't do that, they're not going to fit. I just thought I'd pop in before I finish these. And actually, this one's angled, the top is angled a little bit in, it looks like. Not quite 90 degrees. But it's important that you pay attention to little steps like that. Otherwise, if you're building this, you're not going to be able to get everything on here. It would not fit in these slots on either end here if they were assembled incorrectly. So you can see this one here, same thing. Almost think it's easier to get. Let's see. Takes a little bit of, it's a little tricky to get them in here, both slots at the same time. It's almost like it should be a little bit out. But it's important to pay attention to little details like that. Otherwise, when you're building the bench, you're not going to be able to get them to fit into the car itself. And then I didn't do this in the, I was thinking like I did in the video, but I didn't do this in the video. So then once you have these on here like this, you're going to put part 14 back here. Part 16 has the matching notch. It's going to go on here like this. Matter of fact, I think we can do part 16 before we do part 14. Part 14 is going to go on here like that. And then part 15, you have to make sure you put it in the correct way. There is a narrower side and a longer side. The longer side will go, I believe it goes down. It doesn't look like it's going to fit. Hang on. I've done this multiple times. Okay. Put part 14 back in here. And this is why it is important to make sure you dry fit parts. So part 15, the front of the bench will go down. The shorter end will go down, and it all will fit together like that. Once you're done with that, you're going to put some cross members here, but there's some painting to be done and some fill here, because that gap right there, that hole on either side, is not visible once it's put into place. You'll paint the sides brown, you paint the back gray, leave this part wood or stain it, just like you're going to stain the slats. I'm going to probably stain the slats before I put them in here, because I've said it before, when you glue, the glue will block the stain. There's going to be a 3mm by 3mm slat here. Here, we'll use the here, and here are going to be 3mm slats, and then there are going to be some slats that make up the seat, and then you've got 4 arms to the make sure I've got it on the right side, arms that go onto the bench. They'll go on something like that. It'll fit better once the slats are on there. That needs to be painted before you put it on. Just a lot of little things to go on. I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera now. I'll come back after I have a bench done, show you what it looks like, and then we'll come back at some point after all the benches are done, maybe not until another page or two later in the book. But like I said, just a quick update, and then I will pop in and out, or I'll pop back in at, stitch this video together as we do more builds. So that's just a quick update for right now. I'll be back. Okay, been a little bit of progress since the last segment. You can see I've completed 2 of the benches, and I noticed something when I was building them. You can see here the one end of the bench is actually slanted. Cut out the piece. Where did I put it? I'll find it in a minute. Actually, let me pause real quick here and I'll bring it over and show you why that is slanted like that. Okay, so on the front of the car, or on the front of the cable car, these, and it's on the front and the back, because the front can become the back depending on which direction it's traveling. That's why it has controls on both ends. But these slanted areas here line up perfectly. This is why it's got to be slanted, because the front of the cable car is right up against the bench. So on both ends, it's just like that. Very important to remember that when you're building this. If I had not caught that, I could have built benches wrong. But see, these benches are already lined up, are already built, so that you can, there you go, so that they will line up perfect with the front walls. And let me show you, there was some work to do on these things, cut them out, sanded them down, glued them together, got the pieces on the front, on the left and right for each one of these. Got 4 of them done. I've painted this. This is it's supposed to be a brown kind of. It doesn't really say this in the instructions. What this is OcCre's dark red, and then you put some trim pieces around there. You've got these parts, these larger boards, I guess you would call it, and then you've got the thinner planks here that make up the rest of the seat. One thing about the planking on these, because of the positioning of these, when these are in place, a couple of things actually. It's kind of odd because every one of them, part 14 that went in the center of the benches, is a high spot. that in there. So if I push it down on this side, actually this is the first one. It looks like it might actually be perfectly right. But the other two, I had to super glue the ends down because the part 14, the middle part here, had a high spot. But you put these three larger planks. This one looks like it's going to fit as well without any issues. Maybe I see a little bit of gap there. But these three parts go on. These planks go on like this on here in these three spots. And then you put the planking in for the seat. Let's see if I can get that to line up. There we go. Then you put the planking in for the seat between them, between here and here, and then on the back as well. The problem is 3 go here, 5 go on the back. The problem is they're too wide. You end up with not enough room for all the planks that need to go in there. So what I did was I take them, the one on the top and the bottom, I put a slight bevel on them so that they match the slant on the square planks. And then I sand all of them down just on one side, just a little bit, so that by the time I have all of them in there, they then fit. And once that's done, when I'm putting the planks in, I'm very careful to line up this end best I can. It actually has worked out really well. These spots here, and here have kind of disappeared when I painted it. Come on, focus. But I line these up as best I can, sand it down a little bit on both ends, cut this excess off on all the planks. Some of it, the square ones, I've been using this little saw, been using a pair of nippers for the flat planks, but so that I get both ends smooth like this and this. That way everything works out. You can see I tried a little bit of putty here, and I did putty on this side. It actually made it harder to paint. This side I did not putty, and I think it looks a little bit better. There we go. But that's where I'm at. I'm going to continue on working on these benches. Did these on the stream, and I thought I caught everything. When I painted the back is painted gray. This is painted ochre. Like I said, the red there. But I brush painted, and I got a little bit over onto the top of the rail here. And I sanded it, and it came off really nicely to where it left the stain. There we go. Left it stained like the rest of it. Couldn't even tell you which one it was I originally noticed that on. But once they're in place, they look fantastic. All of these parts have been painted with the oak dye that came with the paints pack. Just a lot of stuff going on. I did, let's see, if I remember right, this is the one I painted the seat, or I didn't paint the oak dye on before I put the first planks on. And I noticed after I painted these, when I was painting the backs here, the oak dye kind of blocks the paint a little bit. So I'm going to have to go back in, maybe, and do a little bit of touch-up painting. I do want to do a little bit of touch-up painting on the sides. It's not bad, but it could be better. Especially this one here, you can see. Not a guarantee that I'll go back and touch up that, but it's very possible. But that is the progress to this point. These benches, I did a little bit of work during the week on these ones. Cut all these planks, built all these benches between the, or on the Friday stream. A lot of this was done during Jordan's stream on Thursday. So got a lot done during the week. Probably these benches, I'm 5 or 6 hours into them. Now, they take a little bit of work. They take a little bit of time to build, but once you get them, actually all the parts cut, put together, painting done, they go a little bit faster. I'm expecting these two are going to take another hour, hour and a half to get in place. And then we'll start on the, I believe it's the front end of the tram or the cable car that comes next. Let me open up the tablet and make sure I actually have the instructions. They're in Spanish, but I have the English ones. That's right. I have the English ones available so that if I don't understand anything in the pictures. No, the next thing that is going to happen is we're going to build the center of the car here, the interior portion, because these are out open to the weather. And I did notice I have some pictures from about 7 years ago, I think it was, that Andre and I went to San Francisco. Interesting thing is I saw this car very similar to this one, and they have gates across here now. They're not just hanging open because, of course, we're not allowed to hurt ourselves anymore by doing stupid things like stepping off the cable car while it's moving. But more to come. This is the second segment to this video. This will probably not be the last part. I think I'm going to probably get one more in before the stream on Monday. So I'll be back. Either I'll be back for a outro, or I'll be back to do a little bit more show a little bit more on progress on the car. Thanks for watching. So more progress is done. Got the other two benches on, and they look really good. I still have to varnish them, and I've also got the armrests on. One thing about the armrests is that they aren't quite right. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it there, but there's a gap right here underneath each one of them. Did a little bit of sanding trying to get them to fit. They aren't perfect. They do, they are a little bit up, but they're there, and they look pretty good. Last thing I got to do, and I can do it at any time, is I got to varnish these benches, and then the next steps are going to be to put the start putting the interior cabin together. So that's going to be putting these parts on after I paint them. It's going to be these parts here. These parts are the two side walls, and then these 4 parts, along with, get them real quick. So these 4 parts are going to be the benches themselves. They got the, that works. You've got the bottom here, the front here, along with these 8 pieces, 4 for each side. There's going to be 4 26s and 4 25s that connect to these parts together. And that's the next step, is to build the interior cabin, do the benches. And it says, it's kind of funny, the instructions don't tell you to paint anything inside until after you've got the benches in there. That's not going to work for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these sides. I'm going to paint the 2 sides here, inside and out. This is going to be colors. This is just going to be the oak stain. And then once those are painted, I'll attach them, and I'll do the same to the insides. the insides of these panels here, the side panels, everything is going to get sanded down. Everything has a number on it right now. I got to sand those off. But once those are all painted and put together, then we'll build the bench. The bench will get the stain on it. It'll get painted, and that'll be the next step. That'll probably be tonight, because I'm filming this at 6 o'clock or 6:50 in the morning, before the night before my stream. But that'll be before tonight on the stream, which will be segment number 5 for this build. Hope you're enjoying this. I am having a blast. I love building these kits. I'm kind of getting back my mojo, because I was kind of just doing models to do models because, well, part of it's my YouTube, part of it's I've lost a lot of interest in the part works. Still going to finish the ones I've got, but I didn't do any part works this weekend, and it was fantastic. Just building on this, going back to building a single model at a time. It's unique. I haven't done it in a long time, and it is also really enjoyable, just having one model that I'm working on. So if you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post further content. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you tonight on the stream or in the next video.
Model mania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models. Workman's model mania, hard work models, plastic modeling.